Hey readers, it's Mr. Marshall here at Stony Lane. I want to talk to you a little bit today because I know you and your class have been reading nonfiction books. And when little kids read nonfiction, you know what they do? They read their nonfiction book and they say, "Guess what? Elephants have trunks. Guess what? Elephants live in Africa. Guess what?" And they kind of like say all these guess what, guess what, guess what. And they say like all these random facts, right? They're collecting all these random facts. But you know what older readers do? Sort of more sophisticated readers, you know what they do? What they do is they read the facts and they try to think, well, I already know a lot about this. I'm going to try and get an idea that I've never had before about this topic. Okay. And they try to say like what their idea is. They kind of like read the facts and they think about what do these facts like teach them about their topic. And they kind of like state their idea and use the facts to support that idea. Let me show you what I mean. So, in another video, I read this great book to you. It's called How to Be an Elephant. This is a really beautiful teaching book about an elephant, and kind of like what elephants do. Okay, so I'm going to read you a little piece of this book. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and not just say, guess what, guess what, guess what. I'm going to try and read the facts, get an idea about those facts, and use those facts to support my idea. Okay, watch. Here we go. This section of the book is called Making Space. And this is about what elephants do in the space that they live in. Okay, so take a look. I'm going to read this little section to you. It says, Africa is not an easy place to live, even for a family of giants. The landscape can shift dramatically from year to year, even week to week. Natural disturbances like fires, droughts, and rainfall can turn forest into grassland or grassland into forest. So elephants must often travel hundreds or even thousands of miles a year to satisfy their huge appetites in such a dynamic home. Wow, so it sounds like they really move a lot. They change their habitat a lot, right? Because they have to keep moving. Um, Elephants themselves are also agents of change. They strip bark, they uproot trees, dig water holes, trample the ground. Look at that. You see the elephants are doing all that? They're doing all those things. Spreading billions of seeds as they walk and eat. Passage through an elephant's gut can speed up a seed's germination, and dung piles. You know what that is, right? Dung piles supply new plants with moisture, nutrients, and physical protection as they grow. Many birds and mammals and reptiles pick through elephant dung for minerals, insects, and secondhand meals. This wide ranging cycle of destruction and renewal makes elephants a keystone species, meaning that just one herd, even just one individual, impacts the living spaces of many other animal communities. Wow, so animals do all these things. These elephants do all these things as they move around, right? So what I'm going to try and do is like I just read all that, including the part about dung, and um, and it's making me think. What am I thinking about elephants and their habitat? Well, I'm thinking that elephants. I guess elephants really change their habitat. Like a lot of times, animals adapt to their habitat, but it's like the elephants are sort of doing the opposite. They're making the habitat adapt to them. Elephants are really changing the place where they live, right? Because how do I know that? So I'm going to use facts from the book to really support what I'm thinking that elephants change their habitat a lot. They change the land around them. They do that by stripping the bark and tearing up roots and digging water holes. They're doing that. They rip things apart, and when they eat the seeds pass through them, and when they poop them out, that helps fertilize the land around them, and they grow new seeds, they grow new plants, and that feeds lots of animals. So I guess the elephant is a very important part of this habitat. Do you see what I'm doing? Do you see how I'm like thinking of an idea about elephants because of what I read? And I'm using the facts that I read to help support my idea. Elephants really help change the habitat and all the things around them, the animals and the plants and everything. And the way they do that is the things that they do. They tear the trees, they dig water holes, they eat things, and then they poop out nutrients. And so it helps a lot of different things. So that's something that you can do in your reading of nonfiction too. You don't want to just be the kind of reader that reads and sees facts and says, guess what? Guess what? Guess what? You want to be the kind of reader that says, so what? So that's making me think. And then you say your idea, and you can use those facts to support your idea. Why don't you try that kind of work on your own, or maybe with a partner, and see if that changes the way that you think about things in the world because of your nonfiction reading? I'll see you next time.